Well, hello everyone at the Be Awesome Network. I am so excited to bring you Andre Hoffman. I was just asking him now, is it Andre or Andre? He's like, Andre. Okay. So, Andre, why don't you tell us where in the world are you coming to us from and what have you been up to lately? Then we'll kind of get into your story.
I'm logging in from Central Europe, and this was a surprise for us. We meant to live somewhere in Southern Europe because I just moved my family from 12 years living in Australia back to the old continent. And I got a new project, a country home, and growing our own food. So we're off to the next adventure, but I'm known as the Doctor of Self-Worth, and I change minds and change lives each and every day. That's my passion, that's my life purpose, and I love doing that all the time.
I love that. I love that so much. Well, you're a perfect fit for the Be Awesome Network because we're all about being awesome and helping each other be awesome and lifting each other up and inspiring one another. So I'm glad to be talking to you today. So, why don't you tell us a little bit about your background and how you got into being a doctor of self-worth?
Well, it's not a fancy story. It was coming from childhood disconnection with my dad. I found myself in all kinds of criticism. He was quite aggressive, and basically, I never felt good enough, or never found myself loved, and uh, I felt insecure, lack of confidence. I tried to prove myself to my dad for probably 3 decades, and I didn't know. I I picked up this unworthiness or not feeling good enough as a child, and my life spiraled out of those patterns. Have to work hard. Uh, these beliefs have been creating turmoils in my life. I worked in banking for a while. I became a high achiever because I thought maybe then I feel satisfied and good. And probably I was looking for my father's approval, which didn't work because he basically checked out early on. He got sick out of his anger and blaming everyone. He never connected the dots. So he died about 5 or 10 years ago. And I traveled around the world seeking answers. But my big question was, what's wrong with me? A wrong question, by the way. I don't recommend you to look for that information because you will find too many answers. Uh, so I spent 7 years in New Zealand. I lived for 10 years in Australia, and I traveled 70 countries in search for my powerful self, for my lost self, my self-worth. And eventually, 6 years ago, when my life was about to collapse, and by the time I spent over $100,000, can you believe? I've been on Anthony Robbins events and John DeMartini, T. Harv Eker, probably you know all of these names, Brian Tracy. I've done the multiple $1,000 events, and they didn't work. Probably I was not maybe committed enough, or maybe I was not ready for change. When life was about to crush me that week, I remember I almost hit a near miss. I was driving trucks at night. My children were always wanting to play with me, but when I got home after my 12-hour work days, I straight away launched myself into a home business to break out of the 12-hour job. And it didn't work. It was so sad. And my children, the only time we connected was this reading bedtime stories. And that night became again a slapping competition. I allowed my children to slap me in the face if I fell asleep. And you know, small boys, cheeky enough. It's really sad. I couldn't believe I had done a full circle running away from my dad for over 20 years, starting a fresh new life. Yet I became the father I hated and ran away from. And I felt so uninspired with. And the next morning, my wife asked me, "Is it time for us to divorce?" I said, like, oh, probably things need to change, massively change and shift. And probably I gave up plan B or C. I said, I have to change things. And I said to her, she asked me, when are you going to give up this crazy personal development junkiness? And I don't know how I had the courage to say, I said, well, I'm never going to give up. So if you divorce me and I lose you and the children, I'll get on with it, because I still believe that we will somewhere, somehow, will have a better life and more freedom and fun and joy, and maybe, just maybe, doing what I love and earn money. And somehow she stayed with me through these hard times, and I found a mindset coach within 3 months. And within 12 months, as opposed to 34 years, my life shifted. I've been reconfigured, almost reborn as the doctor of self-worth. This brand came from one of my first clients, and I had these massive psychological breakthroughs about finding my genius, that probably there's nothing wrong with me, all these new insights. Then I knew that probably there's a lot of people out there who are struggling like my old self. And I decided to offer my services, and then people lined up pretty much from the beginning. And one of my first clients called me the doctor of self-worth, because she said, you're so proficient with these fast and efficient interventions. And this is how I became the doctor himself.
I love that. Wow, what a story. What a journey. How long has it been since that day that your wife asked you if you should divorce?
It was 6 years ago, and we've been together, but most importantly, I've been present to my kids and wife. Our relationship has improved a lot, and most excitingly, I'm the father I've always wanted to be. So I was able to travel with the kids around Australia. We were homeschooling them. We're having a lot of fun and quite a free flowing life. And it's been very exciting. It's really worth all the trouble and struggle I have been through. But most importantly, what I enjoy is the feedbacks and the reviews that I seem to attract to receive daily about, people's reality shifting and changing, where they are not getting abused, or they are recognized for what they want, or they're able to step on the stage, or taking those videos and share it, and that's the true joy and fulfillment for me.
Yeah, yeah, I can imagine that, after such a transformation yourself, that being able to share that knowledge and with other people, and then seeing their lives change, is super, super rewarding. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
go ahead.
oh yeah. So my question is, what's the secret?
Oh, what's the secret?
The secret you
Well,
found.
the secret is, I believe, the subconscious mind needs to be on the same agenda, aligned to conscious goals. And that's, I believe, where most people lose themselves and their life. And this is how they become struggling men and women, where they want something consciously, yet they have conditioning or programming that is completely against it. And unfortunately, this mind can cripple you, can sabotage you all along, and I've been a prime example of that. And I realized I've been running this business for 5 years, trying to make money on the belief that I don't want to lose money. It was trading and investing. Guess what happened? Surely, by tiny amounts, I kept losing money for 5 years, because I don't give up easily. I've been working like a dog, and it didn't work. But if you can take this away from this interview, all you see around yourself is your beliefs solidified into 3D. So there's nothing wrong with the word. There's nothing wrong with your money situation, nothing wrong with your relationships. Somehow you have been creating what you are having now. And there is deeper truth that needs to be uncovered first and maybe changed at the levels of your identity, the beliefs or the conditioning that you probably broke from the past. And I don't want you to be a victim anymore. Reach out to whoever you feel resonating with you. My approach is don't want to take anyone's money unless they get the results that they deserve. So that's why I offer free experiences and then money back guarantee. So I don't waste your time, your money, or my time, my money. My reputation is equals results.
Yeah, yeah, I love that. So can you give me an example of maybe a belief that you were able to shift in your own life? And I know it takes time, but for example, maybe I'm not worthy, or I have to work hard in order to be successful. So how do you take that belief and, like you said, use your subconscious mind to rewire it?
I couldn't do it on my own, I'll be honest. Like, I think there is a certain level of awareness where the mind kicks into more empowerment. And that's somewhere at 50%, where it's sort of 50-50. Then you have a chance to actually be aware and capture more empowerment than self-sabotage. And I definitely I have to work hard. Like my childhood's been working on the farm for my family. I've always seen my grandparents and parents working 6-7 days a week. Then I had the other one that there's not enough. And I'm not enough, there's not enough. It could go cross-contextual. And that's what happened to me. And I discovered this belief came from my grandparents who lived through two world wars, the first one and the second one. And you may know that, oh, one of my lights went out. My grandparents are sending me a message. So, wow. Yes, they didn't have enough. They have been struggling. And even when they had something that the communist state has taken it, or the Germans or the Russians. So it was a well-built and proven belief. And unfortunately, that was carried over to my dad and on to me. And that's what happens to most people. We just live the programming that we get. And a mind left to its own devices will repeat the old, usual, painful results. So seek help if you want to take your life to the fast lane. You've got to, at least in the beginning. And I believe then later on, sort of self-help will work. But at oneself being a victim, it just takes ages, and it's a struggle, like my 30 years.
Yeah, yeah. So you found a program or a coach, someone to help you along. Is that true?
Absolutely, yes. I needed someone who was doing NLP, some other emotional healing methods, and I do use about 5 or 6. And I think it's just the fastest, most efficient way to change identity or self-image, or maybe I could call it self-worth, because I believe each and every person's results are controlled by who you think you are or what you think you deserve. And unfortunately, all you get is reflections of that as far as money, relationships, and health.
Yeah, yeah. Well, okay. Well, that is an amazing story. And I love that you are in your zone now and that you have turned all of that all of the negative energy that you were experiencing into such a positive experience. So, if people want to connect with you, what is the best way to reach out and connect?
Probably the easiest way is look up my website called doctorofselfworth.com. So www.doctor of selfworth.com, all in one block. And I do have some free resources. You can book a session, it's free. The free resources that I want to offer you for, it's a free download. It's called How to Discover Your Authentic Self Faster Than You Ever thought possible. And I'm happy to give away the steps that I use. And you could use it, I would say, if your mind allows you to follow the steps to the T. And that's where I want to prompt you to seek help if you need to, if you can't see the results that you're looking for. Because mentors and coaches, I believe they are key figures to heal this planet, to create change, and I believe to empower people to have the best outcomes in their lives.
Yeah. And we need each other, right? The mistake a lot of times that we make is to try to do it on our own, right?
Absolutely. Like, I believe you're serious and you invest money and time into mentorship or coaching. Oh, one thing, please check if things are working, because I don't believe that every coach is creating results out there. And if it's not working, then I would say, yes, get your money back or start an arrangement where results do matter for you and for the coach, and you will feel that whether you're in the right place or not. And if it doesn't work, then like I was talking to people who've been seeing, psychologists and certain therapies. They've been there for years, spending thousands and thousands of dollars without any breakthroughs or change. And then I want to challenge you to take your life seriously, because probably all this time you've been walking blindfolded to opportunities, probably the opportunities that you needed to take your life to the next level, because the mind is playing with you if you are not careful. And I think it takes a special tool, or there may be a few tools that does work to help you find your authentic self and live and operate from that place, so you can set up your life as a playground and really get paid for what you love to do. I think there's nothing more rewarding than that.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds amazing to me. Turn your life into a playground. And that's not the first time I've heard that not that expression in and of itself, but just, the mind can become you can kind of take yourself into, with the right tools, a sense of wonderment and discovery and a whole different attitude than stress and worry and those kind of things that bring us down. So thank you so much, Doctor of Self Worth, for joining us today. It's been an absolute pleasure. And do you have any closing thoughts for the Be Awesome Network?
But never give up. Never give up. And I'd say you've got to somehow, like that would be ideally your first step, is somehow believe that change is possible. There's a distinction. Change is possible for you specifically. For me, this was a big step. And then probably the next one would be is this belief that I finally have adopted 4-5 years ago, that you could earn a living from doing what you love. So let's get you back to your childlike self and play hard and have fun. But it's not about hard work. It's about you in your genius, and you deserve nothing less than that. Thanks for having me on your stage.
Thank you so much for being a part of the Be Awesome Network. And I want to tell everyone who's listening right now that if you want to connect with Endre, I'm saying that totally like an American. I realize it.
But this is good.
Then you can check the comments. So we're going to put all of the links in the comments of this interview so that you can connect and check it out. Like you said, there are free resources. You can book a discovery call for free and yeah, start your new life today, right?
Today is the best day.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. All right. Well, we're going to end the broadcast now. And I just want to tell everyone who's listening that you are awesome and that we can be awesome together. And that's really what it's all about. So we'll see you guys next time.
Absolutely. And see you on my podcast. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you.